Hey everyone, it is Melissa here with Sincerely Creative Mom. We are going to work on our 10-inch patent pending wreath frame here today. We're going to start by putting our pipe cleaners on these outer rings. So here's a notch that match a hole and the notch that matches the hole. Every notch on the outside, forget about the inside for this design, every notch on the outside we're going to put our pipe cleaner through. On the outside only. So we're going to work with our mesh that has already been cut. If you purchase this as a kit, before you start cutting your mesh, please make sure that you've watched the supply video to know what inches and why for your mesh and your ribbons, so that you're not cutting incorrectly for your kit. So here we are working on our last piece. Again, I'm going to say if you've purchased this as a kit, please make sure you have watched the supply video to understand why we cut our mesh at the inches that we did, so that you can make your decision on how you want to move forward and how you want to work. Okay, so this I already practiced and I kind of showed in that video what we were going to do, but this is the 10-inch wide mesh. We've cut it at 18.5 inches, and there's a specific reason for that, so that I can get the 10-inch, the 14-inch frame, and the sign extender all with a piece of mesh. So for here, we're going to not ruffle right up the center, we're going to ruffle right off to the side, and this is our Pancake 2.0 ruffle, okay? So I'm just going to ruffle off the sides about 1/4 of the way from the edge, and I'm just going to pinch it just like that, put it in our outside just like this, nice and tight, crisscross, twist, twist. I'm going to take those little pieces and just kind of come up so it keeps that piece of mesh kind of just in place. Now I'm going to go and do this all the way around. So I'm going to do that kind of side ruffle. Make sure I don't just grab a whole chunk, go all the way to that edge. Okay. Coming in. Crisscross, twist, twist. If you're looking for the frame, you can find it at thepancakeframe.com. It comes in a bundle of 3. There's the 10-inch, the 14-inch, and the sign extender all in one. If you're wondering what to do with the sign extender, please check out our videos both on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching. There should be some there. Okay, going right down. Nice and tight, crisscross, twist, twist. Overlapping this into that so that it looks like one seamless piece of mesh. Now, using the 10-inch frames, my customers are used to about a 22-inch at least wide design, so I needed to make sure I could provide that even on the 10-inch frame, which brought me to this side kind of ruffle, and I just named it the Pancake 2.0 because it's been a while since we had a new pancake design out, so I just added it a little bit. Made a 2.0. If you're looking for the full actual 2.0 design, you can find those tutorials on YouTube as well. This is the 2.0 ruffle. Pancake 2.0 ruffle. All the way up, grab it. Again, this was part of a kit. The kit included the 10-inch, the 14-inch frame, and the sign extender with projects for all 3 pieces. So if you're watching and you purchased the kit, thank you very much. I hope that you enjoy this design. Going up, making sure, again, still just looks like one big ruffly piece. We're putting our last piece in. Again, don't forget to watch if you've already, hopefully you haven't cut yet, but if you've purchased the kit, don't forget to watch the supply video for this kit. I'll talk about measurements and why we did what we did. All right. So again, the mesh was all pre-cut in the first video, as well as the ribbons. Okay, so our ribbons are cut 16 inches long. They're 16 inches long. We have a 4-inch and a 2.5 inch, a 4-inch and a 2.5 inch. Okay, really pretty ribbon, like really pretty. So the 2.5 inch is our favorite. We put that on the top. Just gonna crunch that right up, fold it out towards us. 16 inches on that ribbon. It is beautiful. Since we're not putting anything else in, I'm going to go ahead and twist that about 7 or 8 times. Pull these apart so that you can see all of the ribbons and some of the mesh still. And we're going to do that all the way around. Now, again, there's nothing going on the inside of this particular design. On the inside twist ties, it's just working on the outside twist ties. So we just have 6 pieces of mesh, 6 ribbons, or 6 not 6, just 6 ribbons, but you know what I mean, 6, I forget the word I'm looking for. That leaf ribbon is so pretty. It is so pretty. It's got the right amount of shimmer, the right amount of glitter. It's so pretty. I'm just going to do that all the way around. Always making sure I'm pulling that ribbon apart so that you're seeing the separation happen. You can see all those ribbons. So that they don't stay hidden. Now that leaf ribbon has a bunch of colors in it, and I just so happen to be able to pull them all out into that 4-inch plaid. It is literally perfect for this design. And plus, I do like the 4-inch ribbon on the outside here. It looks a little better than 2.5 inch. It's a little better coverage. We're kind of making it look a little fuller. So I was glad that that was on the shelf. Now, both ribbons didn't have glitter in them. Typically, if there's glitter on the sign, I like to pull that through the ribbons. In this case, there is not glitter on the sign, so I didn't want to be too glittery. And it didn't matter anyways because that plaid was too perfect to not use it, so we're definitely using it. And then for our ribbon, for the bow, I just went with a single ribbon to not kind of compete with these leaves. It's so, so pretty. So in this design, you could leave those pipe cleaners just like that. We're going to cut them off just so it's a little cleaner under there. But you could leave them since you're not going to see them. But just for the sake of being clean, nice and neat under there, I'm going to cut those off. Okay. So you see we have a nice big presents. And so our sign, now remember our sign is 12 inches and our frame is 10 inches. Okay, so I need to make sure that our pipe cleaners end up just a little bit inside where they would normally go. Okay, so if I put them right on the edge, that's going to be kind of awkward trying to put that in there. Our staples are 1/4 of an inch, and our sign isn't quite 1/4 of an inch. So what I do is I add a little bit of, this is just the back of a ribbon spool. For you, in your kit, if you purchase the kit, you will have 2 of these 3M zip tie mounts. Okay, all you have to do is peel off the back. If I were you, I'd add a little bit of DAP Rapid glue to the back here and stick it on. Let it dry before you use it. So do that at the very beginning. Okay. So I'm just going to come in here a little bit and take our staple gun. We have 1/4 inch staples. And I'm going to add our pieces to the back. Now, if you're not careful and you're not adding these to the back, let me just add one more just to be safe. You could end up with the staples going through the front to your sign. You don't want that, that's for sure. You don't want that. Okay, so from here, I'm going to pick a spot, any spot. The only thing I want to make sure is I can cover 4, at least 4 of our, or as many as I can with our sign. Okay, so those pipe cleaners I want to hide. And then what's down here, left down here, is going to be hidden by our bow. Okay, so that sign is going to go in there just like that. And I'm going to take those pipe cleaners and run them right through. One goes to the inside of the frame, one goes to the outside of the frame. I'll turn it over in a second and show you because we're going to sink it in all together. I like to put both sides in before I kind of tighten it so that I know it's like even, it's in the right spot, it's, you know, in the right spot. I don't know what else. This one is a lot easier than the 14-inch just because there isn't too many layers to go through. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is pull that nice and tight. I'm going to use that little notch there to leverage. And then tuck the rest of that in. And then I'm going to go to our other side, making sure, of course, that it is where we need it to be. Kind of keeping the pressure on it as I put it down. Nice and tight. Make sure those twists are nice and tight so that that frame, or I'm sorry, that sign stays right where you want it to. And I'm going to just tuck that nice and neat inside there. So our back looks nice and neat. Our front looks nice and cute. Perfect. Then I'm going to take our ribbon here. So this is 4 yards of this ribbon. I'm going to take our ribbon and I'm just going to make a bow. I'm just going to hand make a bow. So as many loops as I can. Okay. So I'm going to put one little loop in the center. So I'm starting with about a 6-inch or a 7-inch, about a 7-inch tail. and about a 3.5 inch loop. Okay, I'm going to pinch from there, and then I'm going to pull them apart, and I'm just going to start looping back and forth. So I'm going to twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, making sure that those first two loops look about the same, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop. So I made those two about the same size. Now I'm going to go just a little bit bigger. Twist, loop, just a little tiny bit. Pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop. Now, if you're like me, you have carpal tunnel, your hands are starting to scream at you. Could start already before this. But I'm just going to go until the very end. Pinch, twist, loop, as many as I can, pinch, twist, loop, and I don't have enough for another one, so I'm just going to leave that and twist. Now, the reason why I didn't give you any measurements beyond that first one is because you're going to make your bow kind of how you need it to. I just know I started with a 7-inch tail, a 3.5 inch loop in the beginning, and you see that next loop is at least an inch bigger. So you want your loops, and I did 2 loops the same, and then the next 3 loops were just a little bit bigger, right? You want to get as many loops as you can out of your ribbon. Okay? And I only did 1.5 inch, again, so that I wasn't really competing. I had a really pretty velvet green in my hand. It just wasn't the quality that I would have wanted to have y'all to have, because it kind of curled on the end really bad. And so I stayed away from that. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up that first ribbon to the front. I'm going to pull my tails kind of off to the side. And then I'm just going to fluff from there. So my bottom comes out. My tops come out. And then once it's actually in there, it's going to be a little easier to really fluff, but that's what I start with, okay? So then I'm going to put it in, right with our, this being our center. I'm going to watch real closely. And I happen to have, right where I am, I have a little hole there and a notch. I'm just going to try to put that right in there. It just works out well. Now I know it's covering. We're just going to get that in. So there's a hole right there that I just happened to just grab. I wasn't going to use it for anything else, so I may as well just grab it for the bow. Worked out perfect. I could have just went around the whole frame like I did, but for the sign, but it wasn't necessary. Okay, so then from here, we have one long crazy one. That's fine. We're going to fluff that out. Cut that one at an angle. There we go. Super cute. Super easy. Put this one over here. Bring that one up there. Super cool. Super cute. Super easy. Super simple. Very cute. Okay, so we have the 10-inch frame that we started on. We used our 10-inch mesh. We used our 10-inch mesh. We have the ribbons that were 4-inch and 2.5-inch. We cut those at 16 inches a piece. Again, if you have purchased this as a kit, I hope that you were able to watch the video for the supplies before you started cutting to make sure that you cut everything correctly with enough supply to use for all of your designs. And that is all we have for today. I always just make sure my ribbons are nice and fluffed out before I take the picture. But look at how perfect that is. Super duper cute. Very nice. Also super flat. Not a lot of material. Nice and clean on the back. I hope that you enjoyed this. For those of you who purchased the kit, thank you very much again. I hope that you are subscribed, following all those things. Again, I'm Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye, y'all.